You've been on before, so I guess pretty much we're just going to talk about Luminar 2019 and anything else you want to bring up.
Absolutely. You ask questions, I'll give, sincere, open answers, whatever you want to talk about. We can
Okay.
talk, yeah, whatever you feel you're interested in, your audience is interested in. You know that Skylum is an open book. We're even trying to be more open, but sometimes we do bad job
Well,
communicating this to our customers. So whenever we get an opportunity to speak out and get the word out, we are happy to.
jolly good. Right. I'll tell you what then, Alex, I'll play it in and we'll take it from there.
You're listening to another great podcast in the MyMac Podcasting Network.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the show where we take a wander around the week in Apple news, reviews, technology, associated products, and all sorts of other things that catch our eye. This is another episode of the Essential Apple Podcast. Hello, listeners, and welcome to this week's episode. This week, of course, George Bush Sr. passed away. Amazon have announced that Apple Music will be available on the Echo devices by Christmas, that they are going with custom-designed ARM Graviton chips for some of their AWS servers. Apple say the iPhone XR is declared the best-selling iPhone. Apple have increased the trade-in value of your old iPhone against a new XR or XS. And, of course, Apple, as always, are supporting the anti-AIDS effort. So, this week, our guest is Alex Sepko of Skylum, returning to the show, and he's going to tell us all about Luminar 2019, libraries, damn features, forthcoming updates, and all sorts of joyous things. So, welcome back to the show, Alex.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you guys again.
Oh, well, that's great. Thank you for agreeing to come on. So, we all know, because Skylum have been quite clear about this, that, libraries with digital asset management were coming. And now you have announced the date of the December the 18th will be the official release of Luminar 2019. Now, that's not all you've announced, is it, Alex? You've been really quite generous, I think, to Luminar users. Everybody who already has a copy of Luminar 2018 will get all of the updates for free, which is very generous.
That's correct. That's correct. And it was to tell you the truth, it was quite an easy decision because we sort of looked at making paid upgrades is usually a business decision because companies need to make money, and this is not a secret. But then usually most of the companies in the world, they try to make money just on paid upgrades. But then we looked at our growing audience, and we clearly understood that for us, the company is growing with new users and adoption of the software by new users, and we don't really want to force people to just spend extra money because December and holidays is a time when people spend too much money, I think. So we figured out we would just make upgrade to a new version free for current customers. For new customers, whoever owns Luminar 2018 will get a free upgrade to the new version, and then we'll keep that at least until the end of 2019, and we'll see what happens next.
Ah, right. Well, that's excellent. Very generous of you, I have to say. And also, of course, I see that you have cut the price of 2019 by, what is it, you've cut about £11 or something off the cost for a limited period?
Right, so if we, in US dollars, we cut it down to $10 for a limited time until the version ships on December 18. But then that's for new customers. But whoever owns another Skylum product, be it a very, very old product, Effects Photo Studio, Tonality, Intensify, Aurora HDR, or any other legacy software by Skylum, they get the extra discount as well. So for some customers that will make, I'll say in dollars, and then we can recalculate, but so it varies from $49 to $59 for software. Everyone who gets it today gets the current version immediately, and then a free upgrade to Luminar 2019 with free performance updates in new versions until, again, just like I said, at least the end of next year.
Oh, well, that's very good. And everybody who listens to this show, you have kindly offered us a discount code, which will get everybody an additional $10 off a purchase of either Luminar or Aurora HD 2019. So thank you very much for that, Alex. And the discount code is Essential Apple. And so enter that at the checkout if you make a purchase of Luminar or Aurora, and Alex will kindly discount you another $10 off the already discounted price. So thank you very much.
Absolutely, not a problem.
And Maria, who I believe is listening but not taking part in this interview, has gifted us a copy of Luminar 2019 to give away. So, listeners, if you would like to win a copy of Luminar 2019, send an email to essentialapple@sudomail.com, and that's SUDO mail.com. Mention Luminar and the phrase I'm going to give you now, which is Serenac's Secret Santa, and we will draw the winner on the Christmas party show. And someone will win a copy of Luminar 2019. So thank you very much.
Let's make it more than one copy. I know Maria will kill me, but let's make it 5 copies. Why
All
not?
right, we have 5
it's Christmas
copies.
afterwards.
It's Christmas.
Yeah, let's make 5 copies.
You haven't cracked open the vodka already, have you, Alex?
Not yet. Hey, I have a kid sleeping on the back seats, and as usually, I'm in the middle of driving or going somewhere. So I'm keeping myself for the holidays, and then I'll definitely drink, a shot. So let's make it 5 copies of Aurora 2019 and 5 copies of Luminar 2019.
Wow, Alex, that is super generous. Okay, so
no problem.
Enter the draw for a copy of Luminar 2019 or Aurora HD, send an email mentioning whether you would prefer Luminar or Aurora and the secret phrase Serenac's Secret Santa, and you will be entered into the draw, and we will pull the names out of the hat on the Christmas Party podcast. Well, that is very generous of you indeed, Alex. Thank you very much.
Good luck, everyone.
Yes, good luck, everybody. Also, I will mention that last week, Beelight gave us 2 licenses of their Live Home 3D to give away. And that, again, email essentialapple@sudomail.com, mentioning the Live Home 3D and the phrase I gave out on the show with Beelight, which was "Bar bar Beelight sheep." Thank you very much. And I don't believe Beelight are too far away from you, are they? They're in Lithuania. It's not too desperately far away from the Ukraine, if my geography serves me.
Yeah, it's close.
It's close, yes, obviously. Right, so with all of that out of the way, I have a specific question from the Slack room for you, Alex, from Mac Jim, who asks, will the Fujifilm XF10 be supported soon, as I cannot edit my images right now? I'm assuming he's talking about RAW there.
Yeah.
So could you ease Mac Jim's concerns there?
Yeah, I tell you the truth, I can feel that pain, because about 2/3, a lot of engineers at Skylum, they're using Fuji as their cameras. So, and then when they test that, when something goes wrong, we feel that and hear that immediately, even before the product is released. So the short answer to that question is definitely the software will be supporting it. But a longer answer is I need to explain that support of raw files for a specific camera brand, it basically relies on two things. First, if that file format is supported by native developments and open raw libraries, and second, if a camera brand allows a software manufacturer or gives some additional access to their raw files. So if we don't support something with Fuji, that means that that support is either not available yet with other raw libraries, or we haven't got that directly from a camera brand. So we are always going two directions. We are now talking to Fuji, working with Fuji to have them allow us to get early access to their files and support in the best way their raw formats. And that touches not just Fuji, but Sony and Canon and Nikon and all the other guys. So sooner or later, if any format is not supported and we hear that customers need it, we work hard to make that happen. So it can happen as soon as Luminar 2019 that ships on December 18th. And if not, that will be coming in the nearest releases, because supporting raw format for different camera brands, be it big or small, is a key focus for us. Because even with smaller camera brands, people still use it, and we're talking about thousands of people even for smallest camera manufacturers. So again, a short answer is yes, we'll try to make it as soon as possible. And the longer answer, it may not be immediately, but we'll try to make your wait as short as possible.
Oh, well, that's fine. That's fine. I do know because I do understand that effectively every camera has its own RAW format. So even Adobe, for example, are constantly adding new cameras to their support, because they have to wait. You can't just add a camera. You have to get the spec for each individual raw image.
What will definitely help, and we continue to tell this to our customers as our user base grows, and we're already over million of people who use Luminar. Then what we usually tell our customers is that if you want, if you're really using Luminar often, and you really want your camera to be supported, if it's not, so definitely a good thing is to write to the developer, but also don't be shy and write it on different camera forums, and where the community for that camera brand usually sources information. There are a lot of places like Fuji Love and Fuji Rumors and many other places where representatives of camera brands are located, and they listen to community. So the voice of customers should be heard by a software manufacturer for sure, but also by camera brands, because camera brands are massive corporations, very big. And it's not like we can pull up, we can dial a number and talk directly to the guy in charge. We also suffer from getting to the right contact and then supporting everything. So it's the customers, if possible, I would love to ask for some help. So if you want to get the word out there and you are talking to your peer users, or you are somewhere on the forum or whatever, just mention that you would love to get that support happening, and hopefully that will speed up the process as well.
Excellent. Okay, so listeners, if your camera is not supported currently by Luminar, tell your camera manufacturer that you would like support for Luminar.
Tell everyone, tell everyone, and then someone will definitely help.
Yep, there we go. So get the word out, basically. Let's talk. Obviously, the big feature of 2019 is, of course, the digital asset management, the libraries, which you've been working on for some time. I know we talked about it the last time you were on the show, and you said that it was quite rightly. I believe what you said was, you couldn't release it until it was ready, and so it'd been pushed back, but now it is coming. So obviously, very many of the listeners would like to hear about the library features. So first of all, Mac Jim has another question about images and catalogs and so on. But first of all, let's talk about the libraries feature,
Sure.
and then we can ask that specific question.
Absolutely.
So,
do you want me to tell you more?
Yes,
Okay.
please tell us all about the libraries.
Absolutely. My pleasure. I from my earlier conversation, that I love talking about Luminar, our products and the company and photography in general. So stop me whenever you feel like I'm going too far.
No, that's fine.
So when you look at Luminar, it's important to understand that we built Luminar following several very, very important principles just several very important principles. And thing number one is that we want photography and photo and image itself to be the center of attention. So that's always the critical thing. Then second thing, when we deliver a feature, we want to make sure that we make the process as short as possible, so people can achieve something great without waiting for something, without figuring out moving sliders. So we're shortening the process and speeding up the time people can get result. And also as our user base grows, then we want to appeal to a massive audience and solve their biggest problems. And that's and this may sound too generic, but when I'll be talking about libraries, you'll understand what I mean. So when we started developing libraries, we started to look at different people who use our software, and we could clearly see that even though they all love photography, their workflows are different. So there are people who use Adobe Lightroom or Adobe Photoshop, and they never feel like switching. So for them, they don't really need a library. They just use Luminar as a plugin, and we complement Adobe Workflow perfectly, bringing those tools that are not, that are not available in Lightroom that are hard to make in Photoshop. So we were building library for two groups of people who want to switch from Adobe and people who are not using Adobe at all. So two groups of people, and then a massive audience who will be using libraries are people who simply want to organize their images quickly, browse their images quickly, and then just starting viewing and managing the images quickly without waiting for import, without waiting for preview to appear and things like that. So in this first version of libraries, we focused on two core things. On the user experience, it means that when you launch Luminar, it should be super intuitive what to do, and you should start browsing and enjoying your images quickly, almost immediately, without manuals or without figuring out how system works. And second thing was about the speed. So we really wanted you to enjoy your photos without waiting for preview to load, without waiting, staring at a spinning wheel, and so on and so forth. So the new library will be coming with a purpose to achieve just that. People will be able to quickly open their images in Luminar in any volume. They can open it from their hard drive, from external drives. They'll just need to show the location where their database is. And basically, almost immediately, we'll be starting creating sort of a series of albums to browse and view images. And then there will be some cool features like that people are used to, like rating and different browsing options and albums, and people will be able to sync their edits quickly. So if you just apply some edits on a single image, you can then quickly paste those settings on dozens or hundreds of other images. So that's coming in the near time. And the first version of libraries will be able to satisfy the very basic needs of the majority of the users who enjoy photography and who enjoy photography. And then what we plan to do is we have roadmap on our website where we show what additional features we want to add. But then in reality, what we want to do is we don't just want to roll out features one by one and then see no one using it. It's not about the volume and number of features. It's about the value for the customer, because too many features just turn it into a confusing beast, and we don't really want to do it. So what our plan is we'll launch the libraries, which will allow quick, fast browsing, enjoying the software, quick edits, bulk edits, rating, reviews, creating albums, exporting and publishing, and so on and so forth. And then we will be collecting data and requests from the customers, and then rolling out new features based on that. I know a lot of people are wondering whether the Lightroom migration tool is coming, whether Aperture migration tool is coming, whether some other, even Apple Photos migration tool or Capture One migration tool are coming. We want to see the behavior of our customers first, and then prioritize the rolling out of the features. So Lightroom libraries, Lightroom migration tool will definitely be there, not in the first version, and it's currently in development. And then other features will be rolling out one by one after that.
So, could you tell me where we could find the roadmap on your site? Obviously, we've got links in the show notes to the blog and to the.
If you go to the homepage, and then there's Luminar link on the top that allows you to open the top menu, and you'll see roadmap right under the.
Right, let me have a look.
Right on.
We will
somewhere.
put that. We will put that in the show notes. So there we are.
Yes, please.
Okay. Yep.
And then my request to everyone, to customers in particular and users, is I know you will be sending us a lot of requests and feature requests, but I would strongly advise, instead of just sending us a request for a certain feature that you have in Lightroom or Capture One or Photos, send us a description of a problem you want to solve. Tell us what you'd like to achieve. Tell us the purpose, and then we will be able to help you, maybe not just delivering the same tool, but bringing you something even better, like we did with AI Sky Enhancer. So it's not, for us, it's not about adding features and competing, because when you add too many features, you basically turn to, again, a slow, confusing beast. And this is not what we want. We want people to quickly and intuitively make their photos great and organize their images. So, and of course, solving key problems that users face. So instead of just sending us, let's say, a request that says add this feature and then I'll buy, would instead ask you to tell us, I want to make. I do a lot of portraits, for example, so I want faces to look more better, or I want something else, and then we will be able to deliver a feature based on the request, based on the problem, finding a solution based on the problem.
Excellent. Fabulous. Well, there you go. That's sound advice, I think, Alex. Yeah, don't just request a feature. Tell Skylum what it is you want and what you want to do. You've pretty much answered Mac Jim's second question, which is, will we be able to import images, catalogs, raw images, etc. from Lightroom? And if not, will it be featured in a later update? Well, I think you've pretty much answered that, but
that's definitely something that will be available. And again, but for us, it's always about the user experience. So even from any user who asks these questions, we'd like them to try the libraries first, and then tell us what else they need. And but libraries Lightroom migration tool is definitely the top priority, is the number one priority. But what we have noticed from people who use the software right now, if you take all the users of Luminar as 100%, then we see that about 35% uses as a plugin for Lightroom or Adobe, and then about 45% uses as a standalone software, and they're not using Adobe products. So people who are using Adobe and want to migrate their library make about I'd say 15-20%, which is a lot of every fifth customer, and we'll definitely deliver that.
Excellent.
I don't want really a lot of media and blogs. They say they like titles that say Lightroom killer or Adobe killer or Adobe alternative, and it drives traffic for sure. But for us, it's more about appealing to a more massive number of people, and we understand that Adobe is a huge company with millions of fans, and we don't mind complementing the workflow of Adobe products to those who don't feel like switching. And for us, it's just finding our user base, which is growing really fast, and we can see that out of hundreds and hundreds of millions of people who use digital cameras, out of billions of people who use mobile photos to shoot, not everyone for sure is using Adobe products, though still a lot of people. So for us, it's we look at it at a bigger scale.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I do know because several of the listeners who correspond with me are heavily into photography, and several of them have said to me that they are using Luminar at the moment as a plugin, but they would like to move over to Luminar, but obviously they can't at the moment stop using Lightroom until they can migrate completely. So, I'm sure they'll be very happy with that. It might not be immediately, but it is coming, and that will, I'm sure, make them very happy.
Yeah, what we like to say, it's an adventure, not a sprint. So we'll get there at some point. But even before we bring a migration tool, we'll do our best to again fit in the workflow and adjust to the workflow with different users.
Yeah, well, of course. And as you say, it's not a matter of blindly copying somebody else's work or workflow or whatever, because becoming a copy of somebody else's software is not really the answer, is it? That's not the way forward.
No, absolutely not.
So as well as libraries, I'm sure that there are probably some other interesting things in the new updates. So would you like to tell us something about some of those?
Sure. Every new feature that will appear in so we're not talking about different performance and speed improvements, although it takes a lot of engineering work. Customers usually appreciate that, but don't find it too attractive or sexy when I just say performance improvement. So Luminar has become faster. So I'm not gonna touch that part of though the engineers usually spend most of their time delivering the best performance.
Can we just give a shout out there then to all the poor engineers who go unrecognised for slaving away over code to improve performance and get no recognition whatsoever?
Yes, that's a good thing. Yeah, because this thank you for doing this, because that takes a lot of effort, and that's in reality that's the biggest thing about it, because in reality, even if you have hundreds and hundreds of features, most of the customers use a very limited number, because most of the people just want to quickly get their photos look better or just fix their images. So a lot of niche smaller features are good to have, but it's not like it's better to have a fast and good performing software rather than a slow beast with a slow piece of software with a lot of features. So in that the new version, we have libraries which I said that will allow people to organize their images, group them by year, day, dates, whatever, rate, and add rating, favorite, whatever.
Can I just interject there? One thing I know a lot of people who've spoken to me about are interested in is tagging. We have a particular user, and I know he is a little bit specialist, but he likes to catalogue, because he takes hundreds and hundreds of photographs, and he likes to catalogue them in a very specific manner. So will kind of metadata tagging be available in the new version?
Yes, partially in the first version. Then more will be rolling out. And again, we didn't just want to create the same thing as Lightroom, for example. It's just because we feel like we can, if we take some time, and we can think of even more interesting way to do it. Maybe some sort of an auto tagging using machine learning, maybe some other things. So that's why we are very, very, I'd say, modest in terms of releasing new features immediately. We will just add the core, and then metadata will definitely be supported, and all other basic things. But then we usually feel that if we just spend some more time, we can come up with a more interesting twist to an existing feature or existing tool. Overall, I would say that for Luminar 2019, December 18 is the time when we launch up the libraries with core features, and then every single month or so there will be some addition to either the Mac version or the Windows version to add stuff. We've actually made a decision that we will not be rolling out updates to Windows and Mac at the same time. We just, because the platforms are basically different, and users are different, and the workflows are different, so we'll be focusing on different platforms separately, so one doesn't be so dependent on another. But back to features. So we'll introduce a really cool feature that I personally find my favorite. We call it Quick Edit, and Quick Edit means that you can open an image in a library, then you can apply. Let's say you open, let's say, workspace, and you apply an AI sky enhancer, then you apply accent AI, then you apply some of other smart filters that we introduced, and then you can go ahead, and when you like the result, you can go ahead and sync these edits with as many other images as you like. And the cool part is that it will also sync those edits that are powered by artificial intelligence. So, for example, if you are adjusting sky on one image and then you sync these edits on all the other photos, it will selectively apply AI sky enhancer to different images, be it a gray sky or blue sky or a small amount of sky or more sky or sunset sky. It will basically automatically adjust the values and increase it smartly, basically. So that will allow customers a faster editing of all sorts of different images, not just images that look similar, basically. So it will be custom tailored adjustments without a lot of manual control.
Right.
So that's one thing. We also decided to move from a concept of photo presets to more of a concept of looks. And when I say looks, it means that it will be it will be a sort of a preset, but with more adjustments and more textures and more smart filters. So it's not just like a traditional preset. We wanted to go further and actually allow people to add more style, and rather than just adding a preset that will fix the image or so there will be redone from scratch looks in the libraries in Luminar, and then several other minor things related to usability of the software in general. But the key thing is definitely in libraries, in organizing the images in a better way.
Excellent. Well, that's really very good. So I know that obviously with Luminar 2019 is the big thing because it's launching in 2 weeks' time. Or 15 days, sorry, give or take.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah. So, but of course, that's not your only product. Aurora HDR is your other main product, I guess. Would you like to tell us a bit about? I mean, you recently refreshed that, I know.
Well, for us, and we actually have 4 products now, and one product is not publicly available to the market right now, and definitely Luminar is a key thing. We are building Luminar as a photography organizing and editing platform, so it will allow third-party partners to create more stuff for Luminar, and basically Luminar is our flagship product. You're right.
Yeah.
Then on the consumer side of things, we also have Photo Lemur and Aurora HDR, And Aurora HDR, after we launched the new version in the end of early in October, we were blown away by the number of believe it or not, but I was maybe it's an obvious thing for most, but for me it was a mind-blowing discovery. We saw that a lot of customers, about 40% of new customers who get Aurora HDR are real estate photographers and real estate brokers who are not professional photographers, and also architecture commercial photographers. And for many of them, it was like obvious, and they were, when I usually try to talk to the customers, often when I get time, but I was blown away that so many people from real estate world, from the real estate business and architecture photography, actually adopt Aurora HDR 2019. So that's that's probably a good sign. That's going really good. Luminar Luminar is getting traction among people who travel a lot and families. So we are happy because this is for whom we built the product. People who want to quickly enhance images without too much control over the result, just getting the basics done quickly and then share somewhere on social media, whatever. So Photolima is going great, and we also are getting close to launching our enterprise solution, a B2B solution that we call Picture Speed, and that's an API for businesses that will allow businesses like, again, real estate businesses and marketplaces and photography studios and photography platforms with photography services on demand to integrate Picture Speed into their businesses to automatically enhance image or upscale the resolution or enhance skin or do other things. But that just will be purely integrated to partner platform, and we haven't publicly released it yet. We are just testing the platform and getting some early traction. But that's our fourth product now. So basically, we have 4 products now as a Skylum.
Okay, well that's good. And Photolima, of course, is it's a photo enhancer, isn't it? But it's almost all AI driven. It's very the phrase "simple" kind of springs to mind, but of course I'm sure it's far from simple. I'm sure it's driven by an incredibly clever amount of technology. But from a user standpoint, there's very little.
Simple and clever.
Yeah, very little user input required. Yeah.
Yeah, it's simple and clever. We were actually, we felt, I wouldn't say felt bad, but we got sad earlier when we heard from customers who said that Luminar or Photolima are too simple for them. And then we figured out that we shouldn't be offended for that. And simple is the word, because simplicity means that you can accomplish more faster. And if we don't want people to spend too much time with the software, because we work 24/7 on our products, and we see our families who miss us, and we see how much time we want to spend taking photos rather than making photos. And photographers who work with us, professional photographers, always say that photographers are getting paid to take an image, not to spend time in front of a screen enhancing or editing the image. They take images, and that's what they love. So for us, simple means faster, and that's just the right word. So clever, simple, you got it right.
Right, excellent. And by the way, of course, there you have your lovely examples on your websites, don't you? So if you go to, for example, photolima.com, there's a selection of pictures in here where you have those slide across things in the browser, so you can see a before and after. Live preview, which I always find that's really impressive, actually.
Yeah, we'll get very very soon. We'll allow people to test it live on the web on their photos. Maybe not this year, but early next year. We actually see that a lot of people think it's just too simple and are hesitant to even try the software because they just don't believe that it can be enhanced that cleverly and that quickly. So we'll allow people to just test it on the web without downloading the software. But then the examples are there. As I said, we find a lot of travel bloggers and people who just travel with families use Photolima, not professional photographers. And at the same time, we see a lot of event agencies and event companies who use PhotoLeader because, again, of the speed.
Yeah, excellent. And, and it provides excellent results, and it's not expensive, is it? But how much does that retail for, Alex? About £35 UK, I think. Is that right?
Hello. Yeah,
Hello?
yeah. It's yeah. See, I feel really bad that I didn't get prepared in terms of the UK currency.
Sorry, it
I'll do
doesn't
better
matter.
next
It's
time for sure.
that's fine. It's $35.
Yes, $35 around that for several licenses, and then I think that that deal is over right now because that was Black Friday only, but I think the team will prepare something similar for holidays. For Black Friday, if you purchase PhotoLeader, customers got a free ebook from one of our partners. Oh, not ebook, but a real printed photo album book.
Right.
So, sorry about that. Worth $50, I think. So with the global delivery, so that was a pretty cool deal. Not sure that it's there anymore, but we'll continue to bring some of deals and offers like that just to bring additional value to photographers.
Yep, that's I have to say, whenever I do go to your site, that whatever the price is, there always seem to be added bonuses chucked in. You always seem to be having some extra bonuses that are available when you purchase. So that's great. What
can I say? I love bonuses myself.
Everybody likes.
Loves it. Everybody likes some added value. So
that's it.
For us, it's it's just a little extra.
Excellent. Right. Well, I think we've probably covered pretty much all of it, Alex. So would you like to tout the sites? All of the sites will, of course, be in the show notes. But if you'd like to just tell the listeners where they could go and look at all this lovely technology, and then I'll let you get off.
I suggest people just go to skylum.com and explore. I also strongly advise anyone who has questions to email us at support@skylum.com. And if there are any advices, business-related, future-related suggestions that people want to share, that are not related to a specific product, feel free to email me directly at Alex, ALEX, @skylum.com. Happy to hear from you guys. And then again, one thing that I want to remind that whenever we take photos, it all comes down to one thing: to be able to quickly get the great result and then get back to shooting or get back to other things. And that's basically the philosophy that we're sticking to. So hopefully, when Luminar 3 ships, you'll enjoy it. And if you want to try and get familiar with Luminar now, that trial is available now from skylum.com. And same goes to Luminar, PhotoLeader, and other software. And I was going to do some blind promotion, but I felt like this will be too much, so I'll just stop myself here.
No, blindly promote away, Alex. Please do.
No, I will feel. No, I feel bad for doing this. You guys have been so kind to invite me for the second time. I feel this is an honor in itself, so I would just stop there. And instead of that, I just say thank you to you once again. So thanks again.
No, thank you very much for the discount code, the kind offer of giveaways, and thank you for coming on the show and talking. This is what our listeners like, Alex. They like people who've got plenty of passion about what they do and can come on this show and tell them why their software is the way it is and what drives them and that sort of thing. So thank you very much, and I'm sure we will have you on again when you have something else to announce.
Sure. Happy holidays to everyone. God bless you, and then stay with your families, stay with your loved ones, give them love and care, and have a great rest of the year and fantastic 2019. Thanks again.
Thank you. And I of course will be available on the Twitter, where I am as @Serenak, and that's SERENAK. You can find all of the shows over at essentialapple.com. And of course, you can also find our stuff. We're on YouTube and we are also on Spotify. So there you go.
You guys are in many places.
We are. We stick our tosh anywhere we can find to shove it. Yeah.
Right.
No, thank you very much for coming on, Alex. And I'm sure everybody will be looking forward to downloading or getting their update very soon.
Goodbye. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. And after that interview with Alex of Luminar, Skylum Software, we'll go over to John Nemo here in the hardware store. Take it away, John.
Nemo's hardware store is back with some great items for the gift season and any season. We're starting with a pair of small speakers by a company called Creative, Creative. Product is called Metallics Twin Pack, Metallix TWINPACK. You can buy these individually, but for two of them for under $40 on the promotional price, and check the website for your location pricing. They are super affordable. They're little powerhouses. They'll fit into your hand, and you can space them apart to get true stereo. The company sent us one so far. The second one will be coming any day so we can double check the stereo. But from previous experience with the Creative Bluetooth stereo wireless speaker system, they are affordable, portable, powerful, and sound very good. There's a tiny bit of distortion on the last couple of blobs as you take the volume up to the very top. But you will be surprised at the mustard that you put on your sandwich when you have these speakers, because they've got a lot of oomph in them. That's the Creative Metallics Twin Pack from creative.com, and the websites are specific to location, as is the pricing. So in the US, it's $37.98 for the Creative Metallics Twin Pack, and I urge you to consider these as stocking stuffers that you will have for years and years and years, and you will love them. If you want something a little bit bigger, the best portable stereo speaker system I've ever used is also from Creative, with a similar name, Creative Metallics Plus Twin Pack. This is for under $60 in the US, $57.98. You get two larger oblong speakers. You've seen this shape and size many times, and the stereo separation and the Bluetooth quality and the range makes these my favorite speakers. When I'm sitting down anywhere and I need portable, I carry these with me, whether they're inside or outside. I don't use any of my big fancy speaker systems because the Metallics Plus Twin Pack goes everywhere with even more power and versatility than the little Metallics. There will be a size and a price for everyone, and you cannot go wrong with the exceptional sound quality, build quality, and Bluetooth stereo quality from the Creative company. Final product is new to me, and it just sneaks in at a penny under $100. The promo price from Creative is $99.99 with a strange name, Aurvana, Aurvana. There's a previous Aurvana. Don't get that. This is the Aurvana Trio, Aurvana Trio, audiophile in-ear headphones with hybrid triple driver system. These are earbuds. You must go to the website on our show notes at essentialapple.com to see their unusual angled shape. They're completely unlike any earbuds you've ever had because they fit snugly in. They sound incredibly good. They're well built. They come in black with different sizes and types of ear tips, a single button inline for play and pause and stuff like that and answering the phone. The cable can be disconnected. So if there's a problem or your dog eats it, you can actually get a replacement cable, which is a wonderful feature. I'm very impressed with the sound quality right out of the box. But there is a serious problem with the box. The box cannot be opened. You must watch a video. So go to YouTube and put in Aurvana Trio Creative box opening so you can see somebody doing the unboxing. Otherwise, I would spend till next holiday season trying to figure out how to open this thing. They have gone overboard in their product security for the retail market. So that's the Orvana Trio audiophile, true audiophile in-ear headphones for very, very slightly under $100. Read some of the reviews on their website and elsewhere, and you will see I'm not the only person who raves about the Orvana Trio, the Metallics Twin Pack, and the Metallics Plus Twin Pack, all from creative.com. Back next week with more great products for this season and every season from Nemo's Hardware Store.
You've been listening to the Essential Apple podcast, and I'd like to say if you enjoy the show and would like to support us, feel free to go over to the website essentialapple.com and you will find links to both Patreon and the Pinecast Tips Jar, where you can make a donation towards the costs of the show, or even if you're really keen, you could set up a recurring payment. And thank you very, very much to all the people who already do support us. We really do appreciate you very much indeed. This show is, of course, part of the My Mac podcasting network, where you can find a variety of other shows like the My Mac podcast with Guy and Gaz, the G-Men, Tech Fan with Tim and David, the Nintendo Club podcast, the geekiest show ever, the Three Geeky Ladies, Bart Bouchotts and his wonderful Let's Talk Apple, and possibly some more that I've forgotten. So why not go over to mymac.com, take a look at the available podcasts, and take a listen.
Hello and good evening. This is Gaz for the MyMac podcast. And we know you have your pick of high-quality downloadable audio content, and we appreciate that you choose ours.
Quite right, Ode Bean. This is Guy, and we're here to say that the My Mac podcast is the right choice to make. Intelligent, cultured, and downloaded by only the finest and most educated people.
Indeed. In fact, we restrict our delightful missives to only those best suited... Guy, I can't go on with this. Who are we kidding? The My Mac podcast is probably one of the most accessible shows there is.
Gaz, we're trying to up our reputation here.
Oh, shut it. Listen, folks, tired of tech podcasts that talk over your head and go on too long, taking themselves so seriously, you'd think they were the ones making the product? Then you should listen to the mymac.com podcast. At least 3 good chuckles per segment.
If my math is right, that's about 10 laughs per show.
Right. Because 3 times 3 is 10. Sometimes I really wonder about you, Guy.
No need to wonder where to find the podcast. Just go to iTunes and search for My Mac. Subscribe and jump into the fun.
You know, we're part of the Stoplight Network, and there are a lot of important people there.
Well, we did say we hardly know anyone important. Though there was that time I was less than 30 feet away from the Woz, and I could have sworn we made eye contact.
Most likely, he was having stomach cramps.
Well, that would explain why he was doubled over at the time.
The mymac.com podcast. Enjoy it. Over a cuppa.
Has been the Essential Apple Podcast. Goodbye and thank you for listening.